Go.
Good evening, folks. My name is Denidra Allen. I've prepared a great presentation about career moves, and I'm so glad for you all to join me this evening. I hope this is going to be informative and also exciting as well. So, sitting in your chairs, you should have a copy of the presentation and then also a clipboard with a reusable pen or erasable pen. Let's make sure that everyone has that. So we're going to do a little bit of an icebreaker. Icebreakers can sometimes be awkward, but I'm going to make this as fun as possible. And since we are talking about careers and making career moves, I want you to jot down your best work attribute by using your initials of your name. And so that would be your first initial, middle initial if you have one, and last name. I'm going to give you a couple of moments to write your initials down. I will do the same, and then I will use myself as an example and use any other one that wants to volunteer. Okay, and you can start that now. Take your time. Don't worry about spelling. I'm a horrible speller, have always been a horrible speller. All right, so my initials are DLCA. D for dedication, L for loyalty, C for charisma, and A for achiever. And do I have any volunteers in the audience?
Me,
Who is me?
Raymond.
Raymond, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out. What are your attributes?
Rationale
Mhm.
R, J for joy, and M for motivator.
Gotcha. Any other volunteers that would like to volunteer? Yes, ma'am. You are.
Christina.
Nice to meet you, Miss Christina. What you got?
My initials are CTH.
Okay. And
C is caretaker. T is um,
Teacher.
teacher. And H is hard headed.
Hard-headed. Yes. So thank you both for sharing some of your work attributes, and I'm sure we will highlight some of those in the presentation. Again, I am Danidra Allen. I am in retail management. I have over 20 years of retail management, also people management and training. I'm in the pursuit of my bachelor's in applied science and art at UT, and hopefully graduate this spring. So I'm super excited about that. When making a lateral move or a career move, there's so many things to take in consideration, and so that's some of the things that we're going to highlight in this presentation, or I'm going to discuss in the presentation. What to consider when making a career change? One is new professions and a lateral move. Is there anyone in here pursuing a new career? Anyone trying to move up in the company to make a lateral move?
Me.
And what lateral move would you like to make?
Probably office manager or assistant director.
All
One
right.
day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hopefully we can cover up some, or should not necessarily cover up, but make sure that we touch some bases on some of those lateral moves, some insight to make sure that you are successful in making that move whenever you decide to do that. So thank you. Some of the objectives: evaluating your reasoning, the organization mission statement, core values, the organization's culture, professional growth, possible advancements, applicants with special needs seeking careers, and salary and compensation. Evaluating your reasoning. Evaluate your career direction is the first step in the decision process. It is in your best interest to arrange your thoughts and process them so that you're making a rational and sound decision. So this is the starting point of making that move, whether it be seeking another profession or making a lateral move, is to make sure that all your reasoning lines up for making that initial decision to move forward with something else. There's three key pointers that I want you to take in consideration, and those are the three reasons for pursuing other career opportunities. One being better career prospects, professional growth and work opportunities. And so that's basically seeking a position that speaks to your skill set, or either moving into a position that speaks well to your skill set. Desire to make a change in career direction. Like myself, I'm in the pursuit of becoming a human resource generalist, something where I can work more one-on-one with the training managers instead of being in the role that I am now as a manager, basically supervising a number of sales associates. And then expressing some interest in a job challenge. So anytime you make a move to a new company or make a lateral move, there's going to be an infinite amount of challenges that you want to allow yourself to achieve those challenges. So evaluating your reasoning is super important. Organization's mission statement. Do anyone know what the organization's mission statement is?
What they stand for.
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. So that's one thing you want to take in consideration whenever you're looking for a new placement is the organization's mission statement, and then also the organization's culture value, core values. An organization's mission statement is the roadmap that informs the applicant about the organization's expectations and intentions. According to Glassdoor.com, which is a leading recruiter that you can go to find new jobs and new job opportunities, they state that 79% of adults across 4 countries, that's the US, the UK, France, and Germany, would consider a company's mission statement before applying for a position. So make sure whenever you're looking for a job, you take that in consideration. Do their mission statement align with your statements? The core value. Core value is the second important factor to consider when seeking an organization that you would like to be associated with. An applicant should consider the organization's core values before expressing interest or applying for the position. In addition, make sure that the organization's core values are aligned with yours to protect your professional interest and integrity. The reason for that is sometimes we overlook what we expect from the company and just consider what we can fulfill for the company. So it is important that the values that you have internally of what you want to represent aligns with theirs. It's super important. According to the according to the NPS Gov, they define the core value as core values being an organization are those values that we hold in which we form a foundation on which we perform and conduct ourselves. So that basically is what I had highlighted. It's so important that you know those core values to see whether or not if you can uphold those core values within the organization that you choose. The NSP also provides a great acronym called the RIGHT, and I will highlight what each letter is, similar to what we did in the beginning of the exercise. So R represents respect. You want to respect your peers' differences. Whenever you go into a work environment, you'll see that there is going to be some commonality amongst your staff and amongst your peers, but there's also going to be some differences as well. Integrity. Be honest and be loyal to your peers and your organization. T, be traditional, be proud of your organization, be willing to learn, and be willing to stay committed to your organization. And then S would be share stewardship and a commitment to the resources that you have there. So that's basically what encompasses the core values. The organization's culture. The third factor to consider is the organization's culture. An organization's culture plays a significant role when seeking a career change. The type of organization culture is a pivotal role in your future with a company before making that final decision to take time to research the company's culture. You'll hear me say research, because research is so important before making that decision, because again, that's a part of your evaluation of that job decision that you're making. So, who knows what an organization's culture is? Anybody? Any volunteers?
The environment into which you're going to work in.
Absolutely. So what the organization culture is the impression that the employees have of their workplace. So you own that. That's a part of your ownership to that, and it's a part of your loyalty to the company too. Is how you see your organization. How do you see yourself growing with the organization and being a part of the organization? That's your impression of it. That's where that culture comes from. The HBR org editor, Rebecca King, provided some great insight in an article that she published called How to Tell If a Company's Culture is Right for You, in which she examined the organization's culture, and then she also showed you how to evaluate your future employer. And so she offers a few suggestions in which I would share with you. Interview your prospect or prospective colleagues. It's so important to know who you are working aside with, or who's working aside you in the workplace. So familiarize yourself with those people. Introduce yourself. Engage them. Kind of get some insight about the company and their impression of the company. Another opportunity is to do a trial run. In the state of Texas, and I'm pretty sure there's other states that also uphold this 90-day probationary period. Is anyone familiar with the 90-day probationary period?
Yes.
Basically, that gives you an opportunity to see whether or not it's a good fit. Because if it's not a good fit, then you can reevaluate that decision and either stay with the company or move on. So again, take advantage of the 90-day probationary period. Another thing you can do is interview outside sources. There's so many different ways to interview outside sources about a company. A lot of companies have social media in which they give a lot of insight about the company's culture, what goes on in the company. They state their achievements, their awards on that. So that gives you some insight about how the company operates and how they work.
Should we read the reviews and stuff as well, or not?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
Glassdoor and a couple of other leading website that does recruiting for companies, Indeed, LinkedIn, a lot of those share a lot of great reviews about the company, and you want to take that in consideration because that can be that decision factor that either says, yeah, I want to go, or no, I don't. So good layout. And then be introspective. Be your own agent. Go out and get the information. Don't wait for the information to come to you. Go out and get that information so then you'll know, hey, yeah, this is the right move for me. Professional growth. Now that you've landed the job that you wanted, now it's time to build your career path. This is your moment to establish your professional growth and your future advancement that you would like to accomplish. Here are a few steps to begin your new career path. So there's 4 steps to this, and I think these are 4 important steps that you can incorporate in whether you're making a lateral move with your existing company or if you're moving on to a new company. And one is create a vision. How would your vision look like, Raymond? What would you think create a vision would be?
I would do like if I landed in this position, how would I go to the next level, and when I would go to the next level.
Right. And so there's a way that you can kind of see yourself growing with the company. So that's a good analogy that you provided for us. Developing a plan. What would that look like to you?
I would set myself some goals, and then work with my my teammates or my coworkers and meet those goals so I can stay with the company.
Absolutely. And number 3 is tracking your progress. A lot of folks get a little bit misunderstood or a little bit confused about what that actually looks like. I would get a journal and write down what your progress is, basically, and keep track of that so there'll be something that you can reflect on.
Every week, every month, once a month?
It's a personal decision to make.
Okay.
It just depends on how you want to gauge yourself, which that leads into number 4, reviewing your plan regularly. It just depends on what you want to see yourself, or how you see yourself growing with the company, what improvements you need to make. Therefore, like Christina has said, in number 2, as far as making a development plan, you can always network with your either colleagues or even your management to see whether or not you can create a roadmap, something that you can ledger and see your progress as you go.
Or you can go back to your manager in like 3 months and say what can I improve on, and then work through that.
Absolutely. Possible advancements. There are several directions a professional can use whenever seeking a career transition. One decision is making a lateral move within your company. And so Career.com editor Don Rosen McKay published a article that was called How to Make a Move Up at Work. Provides a lot of advice that you can use, whenever you're interested in making a lateral move. And so, to your point, you were talking about what you would like to do. Real simple things. Ask your boss about new advancements. You want to definitely make sure that you understand what options you have out there. Also, checking your internal job postings. They usually keep that stuff regularly updated, so you can see what's going on. And then offering to help a colleague if there's someone that's working on a project you want to be a part of. That's something you can do as well. And then asking a mentor or a senior colleague in a department that you're interested in. So if you're trying to make a lateral move into a different department, you can also be a part of that. Salary and compensation. This is the highlight of this presentation. What to look for before making a career move. Consider the salary and compensation package. That's the total compensation package. It usually determines whether or not if you want to move in with a company as well. Glassdoor, which is a leading employer that helps you find jobs, released an article entitled "Why Do Employees Leave Work and What Are the Factors That Predict Employee Turnover?" States 26.9% of employees would stay with their employer, while 71%, or should I say 73.1%, were external moves into a new employer. So again, sometimes compensation and salary compensation package probably not a good move for you. Just because they pay more, it might just not be a sound move that you make. So here's a few things to consider whenever you want to make those moves, something you can discuss and negotiate with your future employer or your now employer. Will and compensation, insurance, discounts, savings program, FMLA, tuition reimbursement, and then travel expenses as well.
So would that be wrong if I discussed that during the interview?
No. Because again, it's an opportunity to get to know whether or not if this is a good move for you.
Okay.
Typically, you do not want to do that, but it's also to your discretion if you want to do that as well. Lastly, I wanted to highlight a few things when it comes down to customers, or should I say, employees that have a disability. You want to make sure that the employer offers those those accommodations. And so JEN stands for the Job Compensation Network, which was established in 1983, provides a lot of information for those that are seeking new job opportunities with special needs. Believe it or not, that there's over 15 or more employers in your building that might have a special need or accommodation that's needed. And so it is important that an employer is able to provide you with that as well. Just a few things that you can do to accommodate those. Make sure that the seating is accommodating, so it's not up high like we have here in the thing. Make sure it's at eye level. Another thing is making sure that the resources, lighting resources, are within a reach, so then they can be able to have that. There's parking outside. Make sure that there's wheelchair parking, so then they'll be able to park in their designated spot. And then other accommodations that you can make as well to make sure that those are being met too. And so just a quick recap over everything we've discussed, which is research and evaluate the organization's mission statement, What are the core values and how do they impact the work morale?
You're on 20.
And also special needs for any accommodations they made for anyone that has those special needs. Salary and compensation packages, make sure it's sound to you. And also making some career and personal growth advancements and opportunities, and definitely seek that. Folks, I do appreciate all your time and all your patience. You have great feedback for me, and thank you for all your participation. I hope I've given you a lot of information that you can use
You did.
towards moving in a new role or even moving up in a new role. Make sure you take the packet home. I have all my listings for any resources if in case you're looking for another job or want to make a lateral move, and I do appreciate it. Have a good evening.